Dorcas! Dorcas! Open this door now. The hotel door shook as a man's fist pounded against it. Inside room 304, a woman froze. Her hands trembled as she clutched a white towel wrapped around her body. Beside her, a young man's eyes went wide with terror. That sounds like, she whispered, her voice shaking. Your husband! The voice roared from outside. I know you're in there. Open this door before I break it down. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to African Tales by Favorite. If this is your first time here, welcome to the family. And to my loyal viewers, thank you so much for coming back. You know we bring you real stories that teach real lessons. Before we continue, please comment below and tell us where you are watching from. But let me take you back to where it all started. Because every disaster has a beginning, and this one started in a place you would never expect in church. 20 years ago, Dorcas was a beautiful 20-year-old girl. She came from a good Christian home, where they prayed every morning and read the Bible every night. Her parents raised her well. They taught her about God, about marriage, and about being faithful. One Sunday, during a church program, Dorcas met him. His name was Emmanuel. He was 25 years old, hard-working, and loved the Lord. Emmanuel noticed Dorcas singing in the choir, and her voice touched his heart. After the service, he approached her. Your voice is beautiful, he said with a shy smile. Dorcas blushed. Thank you, she replied. From that day, they became friends. Emmanuel was patient. He didn't rush her. They talked after church services. He visited her family home with proper respect. Her parents loved him because he was a gentleman. 2 years later, Emmanuel asked Dorcas to marry him. She said yes with tears of joy in her eyes. Their wedding was beautiful. Everyone in church celebrated with them. Dorcas was a virgin when she married Emmanuel. On their wedding night, everything was new to her. Emmanuel was gentle and loving. They were happy. Emmanuel worked hard every day. He bought a house and turned it into apartments. He became a landlord, renting out rooms to people who needed a place to stay. The money was good, and he provided everything for his family. Within 5 years, Dorcas gave birth to 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl. She became a full-time mother and wife. She cooked, cleaned, took care of the children, and waited for her husband to come home every evening. Life was peaceful, life was simple, life was good. But somewhere along the way, Dorcas began to feel something she couldn't explain. She looked at her life and felt trapped. She loved her children, but sometimes she felt like she had given up her youth too quickly. She was only 25 years old but felt like an old woman. One day, Dorcas joined a women's group chat on her phone. At first, it seemed harmless. Women talked about recipes, children, and marriage advice. But then she met her, a woman named Chioma. Chioma was different from the other women. She posted photos of herself at expensive restaurants, wearing designer clothes, and holding glasses of wine. She talked about traveling and having fun. One day, Chioma sent a private message to Dorcas. Sister, you're too young and beautiful to be stuck in one place, Chioma wrote. Life is short. You need to enjoy yourself. But I'm married, Dorcas replied. Chioma laughed. So what? I'm married too. But my husband doesn't own me. I have my life, and he has his. Girl, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Dorcas felt uncomfortable, but she didn't block Chioma. Instead, she kept reading her messages. Every day, Chioma would send her photos and stories. Stories about men who treated her like a queen. Men who gave her money and expensive gifts. Men who made her feel alive. Your husband can't be everything to you, Chioma would say. You need variety in life. One man cannot satisfy all your needs. At first, Dorcas argued back. But slowly, like poison dripping into clean water, the words began to change her thinking. Dorcas started paying attention to other women in her compound. She heard them gossiping during the day, while their husbands were at work. "My husband is so boring," one woman said. "But the man I met last week? Oh, my sister, he knows how to treat a woman." Another woman laughed. "My husband thinks he's doing something in bed, but my boyfriend shows me what a real man can do." They all laughed together, and Dorcas found herself laughing with them. But inside, curiosity was growing like a wildfire. One evening, Chioma called her. "Dorcas, I have someone I want you to meet. Just meet him for coffee. That's all. Nothing serious." "I don't know." Dorcas hesitated. "It's just coffee. You're not doing anything wrong. Just conversation between adults." That weekend, Dorcas lied to Emmanuel. "I'm going to visit my cousin," she said. Emmanuel smiled and gave her money. "Take care of yourself. Greet your cousin for me." Dorcas met the man at a hotel restaurant. His name was Richard. He was smooth with words and made her laugh. He complimented her beauty and made her feel young again. "Your husband is a lucky man," Richard said, looking into her eyes. One thing led to another. That day, Dorcas crossed a line she never thought she would cross. When she came home, everything had changed. She looked at Emmanuel differently. Suddenly, he seemed boring. His touch seemed rough. His love seemed ordinary. The poison had fully entered her heart. 6 months later, a young man knocked on Emmanuel's door looking for a room to rent. His name was Kadiri. He was only 21 years old, fresh from the village, with nothing but a small bag and big dreams. Emmanuel felt sorry for the boy. "The rent is 5,000 naira per month," he said. Kadiri's face fell. "Sir, I only have 3,000 now. I just got a small job. Can I pay the rest next month?" Emmanuel's kind heart melted. "Okay, my son, pay what you have. You can pay the rest later." Kadiri was so grateful. He didn't know that this kindness would lead to his biggest mistake. Dorcas noticed Kadiri immediately. He was young, handsome, and innocent. While other tenants ignored her, Kadiri was always polite and respectful. "Good morning, ma," he would say with a shy smile. An evil thought entered Dorcas's mind. She was now 30 years old, and here was a 21-year-old boy who looked at her with admiration. She began her game slowly. When the compound was quiet, she would take extra food to his room. "Kadiri, I cooked too much rice today. Come and help me finish it," she would say. Kadiri was grateful. He was poor and often went to bed hungry. This kind woman was feeding him, and he felt blessed. But Dorcas had other plans. She started visiting Kadiri's room more often. She would sit on his bed and talk to him about his village, his dreams, and his life. Then she started complaining about Emmanuel. "My husband doesn't understand me," she would say with sad eyes. "He doesn't make me feel like a woman anymore." Kadiri felt uncomfortable. "Ma, maybe you should talk to him." "I've tried." Dorcas would cry fake tears. "He doesn't care about my feelings. He just wants to use my body and then sleep. He has never satisfied me, not even once in 10 years of marriage." Kadiri didn't know what to say. He was young and inexperienced with women. Dorcas moved closer to him. "You're so different from him. You're young, strong, and you listen to me." "Ma, I don't think..." "Shh." Dorcas put her finger on his lips. "Don't think, just feel." That day, Kadiri fell into the trap. His body responded even though his mind knew it was wrong. Afterward, guilt ate at him like termites eating wood. But Dorcas wouldn't let him go. "If you tell anyone, I'll say you forced me," she threatened. "Who will people believe? The landlord's wife or a poor village boy?" Kadiri was trapped. Dorcas became bolder. She would steal money from Emmanuel's wallet to buy airtime and gifts for Kadiri. She would lie constantly. "I need to go see my mother. She's sick," she would tell Emmanuel. Again, Emmanuel would ask with concern, "Your mother has been sick a lot lately. Maybe we should take her to a better hospital." No, she's fine. I just need to check on her." Then Dorcas would leave her 2 children with Emmanuel and rush to meet Kadiri at cheap hotels. Her appetite for intimacy was like a fire that couldn't be satisfied. 3 times in one night wasn't enough. By morning, she would still want more. "My husband can't do what you do," she would tell Kadiri, feeding his young ego. But Kadiri wasn't happy. He was carrying a heavy load of guilt. Every time he saw Emmanuel being kind to him, the guilt got heavier. People in the compound began to notice strange things. "Have you seen how the landlord's wife looks at that boy Kadiri?" one woman whispered. "I saw her coming out of his room yesterday evening," another added. "And did you notice how she always takes food to him? She doesn't do that for any other tenant." The rumors spread like wildfire. Soon, everyone was talking. Everyone except Emmanuel, who was too busy working to provide for his family. One afternoon, Dorcas became so careless that she texted Kadiri, "My husband went to the market. Come to my bedroom now. Hurry." A neighbor saw Kadiri sneaking into the landlord's house. She shook her head in disgust. The guilt was killing Kadiri. He couldn't sleep at night. He couldn't look at Emmanuel's face. The children called him Uncle Kadiri with sweet, innocent voices, and it broke his heart. He called his friend Emeka. "I've done something terrible," he confessed. When Emeka heard the full story, he was shocked. "Guy, you're playing with fire. That woman is using you. You need to pack your things and leave that place before everything explodes." But she said she'll tell people I forced her. "And you think staying there will make things better? When the husband catches you and he will catch you, do you think he'll listen to your side of the story? Run now while you still can." But before Kadiri could pack, everything came crashing down. Emmanuel couldn't understand what was happening to his marriage. His wife shouted at him when he touched her. She spent money recklessly. She was always going somewhere, always busy, always angry. One night, after Dorcas fell asleep, something told Emmanuel to check her phone. He had never done this before in 10 years of marriage, but something pushed him. He picked up her phone carefully. She had changed the password, but Emmanuel knew her. He tried their wedding dates. Wrong. He tried their children's birthdays. Wrong. Then he tried Dorcas's birthday. The phone unlocked. What he saw made his blood run cold. Messages. Hundreds of messages between his wife and Kadiri. His own tenant. The boy he had shown mercy to. The messages were explicit. They talked about hotels, about positions, about how Emmanuel couldn't satisfy her. They talked about meeting tomorrow Saturday at the hotel, room 304, at 2 p.m. Emmanuel's hands shook as he forwarded everything to his own phone. Then he quietly put Dorcas's phone back and lay down in the darkness with tears rolling down his face. Saturday morning came. Emmanuel pretended everything was normal. "Good morning, dear," he said to Dorcas. She barely looked at him. "Morning. Are you going anywhere today?" he asked casually. "Yes, I need to go to the hospital for a checkup. Woman things you wouldn't understand." Emmanuel nodded. "Okay, I'll take care of the children." As soon as Dorcas left the house wearing her best perfume and tightest dress, Emmanuel called his sister. "Please come and watch the children. It's an emergency." Then he drove straight to his hotel. He spoke with the manager and explained everything, showing him the messages on his phone. The manager was sympathetic. "I'm sorry, sir. This happens more than you think. I'll take you to the room." At exactly 2:45 p.m., Emmanuel stood outside room 304. He could hear laughter inside. His wife's laughter. The sound he used to love now felt like knives in his heart. He knocked. Inside the room, Dorcas and Kadiri froze. "Room service," Kadiri whispered hopefully. Dorcas smiled, wrapped the white towel around herself, and walked to the door. She opened it with a smile that died the moment she saw who was standing there. "Honey?" Time stopped. The towel almost fell from her hands. Behind her, Kadiri stood frozen in his boxers, his face drained of all color. Emmanuel looked at his wife, then at Kadiri, then back at his wife. "So this is your hospital checkup," he said quietly. His voice was calm, but tears were streaming down his face. "Honey, I can explain," Dorcas stammered. "Explain what? That you've been sleeping with my tenant? That you've been using my money to rent hotel rooms? That you've been lying to me while I work day and night to provide for you and our children?" Emmanuel's voice cracked with pain. The hotel manager stood behind him as a witness. Dorcas fell to her knees. Please, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please, forgive me." Emmanuel looked at Kadiri. "You, the boy I showed mercy to, the boy I let pay rent late because I felt sorry for you. This is how you repay kindness?" Kadiri couldn't speak. Shame had stolen his voice. Emmanuel turned and walked away. "My lawyer will contact you, Dorcas. Pack your things. You're no longer welcome in my house." When Dorcas's parents heard what happened, they couldn't believe it. They fell to their knees and prayed, asking God where they went wrong in raising their daughter. The church was shocked. Everyone knew Dorcas as the good Christian girl who married well. Now her name was Maud. Emmanuel divorced her. The court gave him full custody of the children because Dorcas had abandoned them repeatedly to commit adultery. Kadiri, drowning in shame, packed his bags in the middle of the night and ran back to his village. He couldn't face anyone. Dorcas tried calling him, begging him to stand by her. "You said you loved me," she cried into the phone. But Kadiri blocked her number. He realized he had been used. All her promises were lies. Dorcas lost everything: her husband, her children, her home, her respect, her dignity. She moved into a small, dirty room in a bad part of town. Women who used to greet her now spat when they saw her. Children pointed at her and whispered, "That's the woman who cheated on her husband." Every night, she cried herself to sleep, remembering the good life she threw away for temporary pleasure. Meanwhile, Emmanuel focused on healing. He took his children to counseling. He took himself to therapy. He forgave, not because Dorcas deserved it, but because he deserved peace. His business grew. His reputation as a good man spread even wider. People respected him for how he handled the situation with dignity. 2 years later, at a church conference, he met Sister Grace. She was a widow with one child. She was kind, humble, and God-fearing. They became friends. Grace appreciated Emmanuel. She saw his heart and his character. She never complained. She was grateful for every small thing he did. Eventually, they married. Grace loved Emmanuel's children as her own, and Emmanuel loved her child too. They built a beautiful blended family based on respect, faithfulness, and love. Emmanuel's children grew up happy and well-adjusted. They learned that even when people hurt you, you can still choose to move forward with grace. As for Dorcas, the last anyone heard, she was struggling to survive, jumping from one man to another, searching for the satisfaction she would never find, because the problem was never with Emmanuel. The problem was in her own heart. Dear sister, if you're watching this, don't let bad friends poison your mind. Don't let curiosity destroy your home. Don't compare your husband to other men based on gossip and lies. If your husband provides for you, respects you, and loves you, treasure him. No man is perfect, but a faithful, hard-working man is worth more than gold. What looks exciting in secret will taste bitter when it's exposed. Temporary pleasure is not worth permanent loss. Remember Dorcas. Remember how she lost everything chasing what she thought was missing, only to discover she had everything she needed all along. Build your home. Don't destroy it with your own hands. If this story touched you, please like this video, subscribe to African Tales by Favorite, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Drop a comment and tell us, what lesson did you learn from Dorcas's story? God bless you all. See you in the next story.